To replace a ground control TT controller with a one control touchpad setup, we will first begin by swapping over harnesses from the old controller to the new one. It is best to do this one at a time to ensure that none of the harnesses get connected to the wrong port. Best practice is to start in one corner and work your way around. First, we are starting by transferring the tongue jack interface harness and then the tongue jack power and ground. We then swap over our rear sensor harness and then our front sensor harness. It is important to be certain that you get these in the right order for the unit to level properly. Next, following around counterclockwise to the left, we're going to move our left front jack, power, and Hall effect wires, and then our right front jack, power, and Hall effect wires. After the front jacks have been swapped over, we're now going to follow around to the bottom left where we see our 4-pin wire for the auto level control touchpad. We're going to swap this over to the new controller next. Now we're going to jump over to move our right rear power ground and Hall effect wires, and then our left rear power ground and Hall effect wires. Now the port we skipped over has some added details. In the CAN bus ports, we could see either 2 CAN bus wires or 1 CAN bus wire and a terminating resistor like the one shown here. If you have a terminating resistor, it is vital that you transfer this over, as we will not have sent a spare one with the new controller. It does not matter which CAN bus connection goes in which port, so long as both transfer over. With all of our wire harnesses done, we want to now transfer over our main power and ground from the board. It is suggested that you do not use a drill to loosen or tighten the 2 nuts holding these in place, as that could potentially rip the studs from the board. Using a ratchet will still save time, but avoid the risk of damaging the new board. Also, it is best to start the nuts by hand, as this will help prevent cross-threading when you install them on the new board. Once you are certain that all of your wires and harnesses have been swapped over and connected in the right locations, we need to remove our old controller and reinstall the new one. To do this, remove the screws holding the old board in place. You may notice that the controller you are removing on your unit is not oriented the same direction as the one in this video. With the ground control TT system, there is no specific orientation for the controller. With the old controller removed, secure the new controller in place. Tighten your screws down firmly, but do not over-tighten them, as this could strip out the holes or crack the mounting for the controller. If the touchpad you are using inside the coach has the same layout as the one on the video, you will need to clear the memory of the old controller from the touchpad. To do this, go into Settings and select Resync Devices. When it gives you a warning about what you are doing and how it could remove offline devices, select OK, as the controller you replaced is an offline device and the system needs to forget it. Next, when you go to the home page, you will notice that if leveling was a favorite function, it is no longer on the home screen, but can be re-added later. To get into leveling, you will need to select Devices on the left-hand side of the screen, and then select Leveling. Anytime you replace a leveling controller, you will need to set the 0 point for the new controller. The touchpad should now prompt you for 0 point calibration. While in this mode, we can press the plus sign to extend any of our jacks, or the minus sign to retract any of them. Using a 4-foot level on the floor of the unit, adjust the position of your jacks until the unit reads as level both front to back and side to side. Once that is done, press enter and ensure that nobody is moving inside of the unit while the system does a stability check and stores the new 0 point. When the touchpad says 0 point set, you have completed the task.